So, welcome to this slideshow called Using ICT for Assessment. It's a KWETB slideshow and I'm Angela Higgins. We routinely review external authenticator reports and documents generated as a result of assessment in KWETB, and last year when we reviewed all of this documentation, it was decided that we would run a suite of CPD programs for coordinators and teachers. This workshop. So we will be promoting the use of ICT in further education centres, and we will specifically be looking at using Word Review for giving feedback and using Ezvid for generating assessment material and also for giving feedback. So relax, we'll share ideas and let's recognise that we're all learning. This particular presentation covers giving feedback. So, as I said, we do this because we engage in review and feedback from external authenticators. The purpose is to improve feedback. It's to improve the nature of documentation of feedback. It's to introduce new ICT tools, hopefully develop new skills. And as I said, it's part of our suite of annual CPD events based on quality assurance feedback. When you're giving feedback, here are a few tips. You should make it legible, make it swift, check that learners understand the feedback, know your success criteria in advance, and make sure that the feedback is focused on the success criteria and relevant to it. You should differentiate directions for improvement, so tailor them to the learners and to the learner's needs as you understand them. You should invest time on improvement because feedback is a core part of learning. You should do it routinely and you should use the student's name. So feedback aids and contributes to learning. It allows you to judge how your teaching is going. It provides a safety net for learners. It allows you to challenge any misconceptions or to correct inaccuracies early and to ensure that they aren't sustained, and it develops reflective learners. So 5 tips. 1. Be as specific as possible. 2. Give feedback the sooner the better. Address the learner's advancement towards their goals. Present feedback carefully and involve learners in the process. Here are some links to how to give feedback and some additional documentation. Not limited, or it's only a small number of the amount of stuff available on the web. Remember, feedback is a sandwich. Start with something positive and give some tips and hints for improvement and finish with something positive. So we move on to using Word Review now. So Word Review is in your Word package if you have Word 2010 or anything more recent. It can be used very effectively for reviewing drafts and for giving feedback. You should open a document produced by a student or a sample document. In your centres, you should decide a standard format for submission of assignments in Word format and for submission electronically. So for example, the font size would be font 12, the font might be Times Bold or Arial or Calibri, whatever you decide is most effective. Provide learners with the standard convention for saving their assignment, naming and saving it. For example, 4N4122 Assessment 1 JBlogs. And if your centre uses OneDrive, teachers can issue instructions to allow learners to upload their completed work. So now pick a section of your document to review, and we'll move on to actually using the package. We should see a screen now showing the taskbar for review. The taskbar leading up to review. And it's taking rather a long time to come up. You should agree the standard conventions for saving across the whole centre so that everyone knows what is expected. Usually Arial or Calibri are recommended as fonts because they don't have serifs. Now here we are, here's our review page or review taskbar, and you will see, you click on review there, and we're actually going to look at the first sentence there, just as an example. So when you click on review, it will open the reviewing taskbar, as I said. This is our sentence for review, so it's actually the heading for the piece. So, place the cursor beside the text you wish to comment on. And you can see on this taskbar, you're probably used to checking spelling and grammar and translation and thesaurus and word count. We're going to look at this box here. This is new comment. That's what we're going to use for the purposes of this exercise. In this taskbar, you can also track changes. There we go. And you can use the markup boxes as well. So if you're focusing on correcting grammar or correcting spelling, using these, the track changes and markup is very useful and very important. Obviously, we don't include spelling and grammar as criteria in a lot of our assessments, but I do think it's an area we need to focus on to a higher degree in the future across all components. So as I said, you can use review for making corrections if appropriate. So when you're putting markup and comments, you see that they can be viewed in the viewing panel to the right. So basically, I put the cursor beside what I'm reviewing, click on insert comment and make your comment. And you'll see in a moment that this is what the comment box looks like. Oops. So in the comment box, you see it records your name here. It records a date stamp for how long ago you actually made the comment. And this little box here allows you to add an extra comment below the comment. So say if you're reading the document and you discover something that makes sense, you can actually go back up and refer to it in this if it relates to this comment. You'll notice that I've said this is what I've said, if this is the title, it should be written using capital letters. It is important to make sure that all spelling is correct. I have deducted 3 marks for non-use of capital letters in the title and 2 for the 2 spelling mistakes. Very specific, very clearly related to the spelling and the use of capital letters in this case. Would have been better if I used the name of the person. So the next step then is to document the feedback. This is really useful because when you can actually document the feedback all in one place, rather than having to refer back to your diary to figure out when you gave the feedback. And it can also be documented in a format that learners can read. So the way you do this is to go to the print section of Word. So you click on print under file, and then when you look down the list, you'll see under settings there is a box that it usually says print all. So if you click on that, you'll see that in a moment. Oh yeah, your comments will be recorded on the right hand side there, so they can be generated as a list. So if you go to print, and if you click on the drop down that refers to print all pages, you'll see underneath it there's a box that says list of markup. Click on that. When you click on it, it will bring you to a dialog box that allows you to save it. Coming up now. So here's your dialog box. And basically what you do is you type in the name of the document in the dialog box. In this case it'll be 4N122, whatever, ASS1, feedback, JBlogs, and you save it. This means that you have, if you have a good filing system on your computer, it means you can access that file in association with the learner's assessment piece. So it produces a document. It's an online document which you can also turn into a Word document, but it produces a document that lists all of the markup. So you can see it's listed any corrections I made. So I inserted an L and a P, I inserted a capital P. There's an empty comment there, but below then there's a comment that I put in. It says, well written, could be improved with reference to theorists and by some analysis of the issues which may emerge if this approach is taken. I could have improved that comment by using the learner's name. And you can see you have a date stamp as well. So I gave these comments on the 11th of April 2016 at 15:38. So there you have a record of all the feedback. So if you have any questions on that part of our presentation, ask them here. My Twitter handle is @sparebangyal1, 140 characters only please. And my email address is angelahiggins@kwetb.ie. Please feel free to write an essay in the email if you like. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Bye for now.